September 20th, last day of summer by the calendar. But the evening turned nippy from a stiff wind that tore turning leaves off the nearby trees. Clouds drifted in, hiding moon and stars. A fog slipped across the night. I doubted I'd find anyone else out. I hit a wall and lost my ride. I never noticed the curve of the road. The fog was thick as any I'd ever seen. If there were houses here, they were invisible behind the damp curtain. The wall was overhead high, made of stone, an old wall. I felt along and used it to guide me. I was on grassy ground. After several steps, the wall ended, and I was walking across open lawn where the wind whipped free. I paused and listened. A breeze tickled across my neck, but I did not hear as much as a leaf's rustle. I could have been standing at the edge of the world, or on a mountain peak for all I knew. About me was a shifting whiteness, like continuous wisp of odorless smoke. I couldn't see, but I wanted to hear. Perhaps the slam of a door, or a dog's bark that would tell me I was going the right direction. I heard nothing. I was in a blind world, and it seemed I was also deaf. I felt I was missing something that I needed desperately to find. I knew I could be late without my ride. I took a step, but no sound of leaves or snap of twigs. Another slow step to see if I was struck against anything, to make certain no hole tripped me. Solid ground. I moved ahead a bit quicker, my hands out straight as feelers. I touched something. I still couldn't see, but it was there. I ran my hands up and down the sides, and it appeared to rise from the ground and taper towards the sky. It created a focal point. I hadn't expected it to provide a guidepost, but at least it was hard and real. I grasped it. It was stone, an obelisk, and I guessed it was a tomb or grave marker. Perhaps I had wandered into a cemetery. Well, then I was lucky not to have barked a shin on a monument or tumbled into a newly dug grave, waiting for the morrow to bring its occupant. "Damn, who the hell are you?" a voice said. It was somewhat faint, but I could hear it. "Is it him?" A woman's voice this time. "I don't know. Take a look." "I ain't looking. You look." I sighed. I heard them speak, faintly, but I heard them, whoever they might be. I got off the road in a fog. "You live nearby?" "No," the woman said. "Hell," the man said. "I thought you were him." I reared back a bit at that. "Him?" "I thought you was the ghost. You're looking for him too?" "What?" I asked. "Ghost?" "Yeah, you know, the tardy trooper at the Paoli massacre." "Right here on this site, the bones of the patriots are buried, and every year they say his ghost returns here at midnight," said the woman. She sounded louder. My deafness was decreasing. "Why just one ghost?" I asked. "Because he wasn't in camp with the others," said the man. "He lived nearby, and instead of staying in camp, he went home to sleep in his bed. He was home asleep when the British snuck up and attacked. He came running, but it was too late. All his comrades were dead. Then before he could do a thing more, a Tory soldier dashed from the bushes and cut off his head." "People say he returns every year out of guilt," said the girl, "and if anyone stares at him, he cuts off their head." "That's why we didn't see you. We ain't looking for anybody. We ain't taking any chances." "Oh, that sounds crazy." "You were right on time, too," the woman said. "On time?" "Yep, it's midnight." I edged back to get some distance from these people. My hearing seemed normal. I could hear them well. Both sounded young. "Almost midnight," I said. "You sure? You could be off." I'm never wrong about time. As soon as I said this, they disappeared back into the fog. "There's still time," he said, and then there was silence again. Maybe they were the ghost. They seemed to disappear into thin air, but I heard a slight sound from the direction they had been. They sounded already distant, and I feared they were abandoning me there. I wasn't what they expected, so they didn't care what happened to me. I walked towards the sound, hoping to get them back to help me. "It's midnight," I shouted. "He's here." That brought them back. Their footsteps were coming closer. They were going to help me after all. My hearing had grown strong. I heard the whoosh, whoosh, and thud. The woman screamed briefly, but another whoosh cut it short. I was going to call out, but my voice caught in my throat. I shuddered and looked up at the moon. The fog had lifted, and I could see the sky clearly. At my feet lay the headless bodies of the couple. Blood spread across the ground and around my bare feet. I must have run out without my boots again. I gazed down at the rugged cliff on the bottom cuff of the uniform coat, at the bones of my fingers that held the sword. The time had moved past the apex of the witching hour. It was time to return home and wait for the passing of another year.